all over your social media platforms so that people, all on your social media platforms, so that people can join in and we can continue. Without wasting time, we have Prince Ism Iheanacho in the house already, in the studios. We have, of course, Citizen AY here, live and direct. We have them all here, and of course, we're waiting for the third, person. I want to welcome you so much to have you. So glad to have you, Prince Ism. Please say hello to the people.
I give all glory to Chukwokike, Oluwa, the creator of all things seen and unseen on this planet, including mortal beings, you and I. I give all glory to God for this day that He has partaken us in. Glory to Him that reigneth forevermore. Amen. I want to welcome to this hallowed platform. I want to salute my dear Ayo Gundumu, Citizen AY, my beloved brother, who saw the light long time ago and began to dissect the evil Nigerian contracted constitution. I wish people would go to his channel, Citizen AY, and see the awesome work this man has done on behalf of humanity. I want to thank you, my dear brother Kelechi, for being here. And I want to all my fellow Biafrans, all my beloved brothers and sisters in the Yoruba nation. You are the people in the light. You are the people who have to understand what you are here to do in this world, in this transient existence, where God has planted each of us for a purpose. And many have been so blind to allow others to organize their footsteps and to tell them what to do and what not to do, the most heinous evil on earth, because God created us each with unique gifts, coupled with limitations, so that we can all collaborate, we can all complement, and we can also cooperate with one another in order to live up to that purpose for which God has created us, which is to alter nature, to alter animals, to alter even our own selves and take care of this world, to replenish this earth, and to leave behind us a world that others will come and occupy in harmony and peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this hallowed platform, and I say, may all glory belong to God, and may the blessings of His remain ours that are mortal beings on this earth. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen.
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 Thank
Amen.
you Thank you so much for that introduction. Honorable Citizen AY, we welcome you live to this hallowed platform, and please say hello to the people watching all over the world.
Fully honored to be following my senior brother.
Right, well, go. Yep.
Is the as is Biafra. I thank you for bringing. I am known for a long time. We are in this struggle. One of the first people I saw when I was watching a lot of and I that bit, because at that Nigeria and everything, I was half listening. But when the person was abroad, it changed. We got even closer in action. So I wanted to say thank you. So I welcome it. I appreciate that. And also, I've had so much experience.
Please, I don't know whether you can help me. Since your voice is cracking somehow, whether you can go out and come in again. I think there is a distortion somewhere, so that the people can hear you.
Let me see.
It seems, yeah.
Let me see.
Yes, please. Let's check it out.
Let me just try something.
Okay.
Carry on for a second.
All right.
Can you hear?
Prince, you are welcome. We are grateful and we are appreciative of your consistency and everything. Now, there is something I want you to talk about here, because what the focus here is we have been looking at the symptoms, the issues, and all of that. And all of that is connected to one fact. There is this religious process
now?
That's okay. It's still breaking. It's still breaking. Yes, we can hear, but it breaks. It cracks.
Okay, let me go and come back.
Yes, please go and come. Yes, go and come. I think it will be better when you go and come. Please go. You're clear. The video is clear, but just the voice, and all of that. Okay. So now, Prince Eze, we have been dealing with the symptoms of issues and the things that are happening. Symptoms. We always know how to deal with symptoms. Hey, I have headache. But we're not looking at what is the cause of the headache. Now, religion is one of the basic factors. But before you go on, Prince, let's hear from Citizen AY again. Citizen AY, please, you can speak again. Let's know if it is now better for us. Yeah, it seems you're muted this time. Please, everyone, bear with us. We are going to be going very, very strong today, and definitely we're going to. Yes, it's still muted. I think it's still muted. Okay, Prince Eze, please, let's take it up from there. This religion, I want you to treat it today from your perspective today. I want you to say something about religion generally now before we get to specific questions. Generally on religion, what is the religious fever in the system?
Thank you, Kelechi. Biko, please. This element is the most critical of all elements when it comes to the pursuit of the freedom we are seeking for. The most critical, the most important, because without Chukwokike, without Oluwa, we won't get this freedom. The only one backing us for this freedom is God, because we are very few. If we don't capture God very well, we are in trouble. So let us recognize God today. Let me tell you something everybody must know, everybody that is in this freedom fighting thing. Because God is a God of order. God is a God of consistency. There is a protocol when it comes to God. Let me now tell you about Yeshua, so you understand. Because if you miss it, you are in trouble. I want everybody now to focus on the transfiguration of Yeshua. Start from there. Because if you don't understand the mysteries of that transfiguration, you'll be following European Christ and you will drown. You are not a Christian. Don't call yourself a Christian. You're wasting time. Go to that transfiguration. Let me reveal something to you all now so you capture it. During transfiguration, God came down on earth in a cloud to speak to you and I. When God was talking to those 3 disciples of Christ, Yeshua, he was talking to you and I. So listen attentively so you understand the mysteries of that transfiguration. During transfiguration, two other people, strange, 2 other people who had long died, Moses and Elisha, came out. They came out because of a very important reason. God was about to tell us something. So please capture it. Moses was the custodian of the Old Testament law. All the laws of the Old Testament, Moses was the custodian. Remember, it was he that got the 10 commandments for us. Elisha was the custodian of all the Old Testament prophecies, all the prophecies in this world. Elisha was the custodian of it. That was why both of them had to appear, because God was about to declare something important to all of us. God took both the Old Testament law and the Old Testament prophecies and put them all together and transferred it to Yeshua. Everything now was handed over to Yeshua. And what did God say? God now says, This is my son. This is the one I want you to listen to from now on. It is only Yeshua, no one else. I want you to listen. You that look for prophecies and go around looking for somebody to take you to God. It is only through Yeshua that any of us that call ourselves Christians will gain entry into God. Only through Yeshua. Because God now took everything and handed over to Yeshua and charged you and me to now hear only Christ, only Yeshua. Now I want you to listen attentively. When Yeshua was about to depart this earth, he never asked any of his disciples to go to anybody. Remember, if there was anybody that is important on this earth, Yeshua would have asked them to go to them. He never asked them to go to anybody. He never asked them to worship anything. He never asked them to devise holy water. He never asked them to devise holy oil. He never asked them to devise holy sand, holy images. Remember these things very well. He only asked them to stay in a particular place and do not go anywhere until he sends the Holy Spirit. Remember, whatever he was saying to his disciples, he was saying to you and I. This is very important because we might be thinking we are Christians, but we are following European Christ and we are going to remain drowned. Listen attentively. This is too critical for this mission we are embarking on. Now, he asked them to stay in a place until the Holy Spirit had come. And when the Holy Spirit came, their mission began. And that was you and me. That was all. He wanted them to fellowship together, listen and learn from one another, share in communion, but never asked them to follow anybody. Nobody. Never asked them to worship anything. By the way, remember that the first commandment told you not to worship any graven images, anything drawn from what God has created. He never asked, the commandment never asked you to worship the sun or look for God through the sun or begin to enchant any nonsense. No, the Holy Spirit that was sent to you and I was sufficient. And because Christ had been sacrificed, there was no more sacrifices acceptable to God. So you can't go and kill a fellow human being or kill an animal or kill anything and think you're doing any sacrifice. You are worshiping the devil when you do so. So I wanted all of us that call ourselves Christians to understand this. Christ never asked us to begin to investigate what is contained in tomorrow. Rather, we are told that tomorrow has its own problems. We are now asked to do everything that we can do and say everything we can say to ensure a better tomorrow with or without us. So if you are in this world running to one prophet or running to one person or the other trying to investigate the future, you are doing the devil's work. That is not tomorrow is not your business. Your business is to use your talent, serve one another, do and say whatever is possible to ensure a better tomorrow with or without you and I. Nobody is guaranteed tomorrow. So it is devilish for people to claim ownership of the future when tomorrow is not a guarantee to anyone. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to capture the mysteries of transfiguration of Christ and the instructions of Christ. And remember that when Christ was on earth, he walked. He wants us to walk. He wants us to do everything that is physically possible for us to do and leave the rest to God. He physically went and removed people who were selling in his father's house. He never went into prayers to ask God to come and remove them. No. He allowed his disciples to carry weapon. He only stopped Peter from using the weapon because the time was up. He knew that it was time for him to die. Otherwise, he allowed them to carry weapon for self-defense. So I want you, and he rebelled against the authorities of this world that were selling evil to humanity. So I want you to mimic Yeshua from today. Challenge all the evil authorities of this world and tell them what they are doing wrong, because you are charged to help every soul and save every soul. You are not condemning them, but you are condemning the sins you identified in them. And they also have a duty to correct the sins in you. We don't condemn sinners, but we condemn the sins in them. I want you to be like Yeshua from today and make sure that you defend yourself with everything that you have in your possession. You are here to defend yourself. Christ allowed his disciples to carry weapons, so don't be afraid. You begin to become like David. David used what he had in his position to defeat Goliath. Be in defensive mode and defend your life. Christ will support you in doing so. So please, I hope you have captured this. Everything I said here is critical for this time. Do not miss any points that I have raised here. I thank you. We can't hear you, Kelechi.
Kelechi, we can't hear you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for that. So you can hear me now. So, Citizen AY, we want to take it from there now. You know, basically, there are some questions I would have like to ask before what I'm supposed to ask now. But because Prince have touched the area of defense, self-defense, and I want to link it to the context of the alliance between Oduduwa Nation and Biafra Nation. The reason why we have come to have this alliance, basically one of the reasons, is because we have to defend ourselves against the forces that wants to exterminate us. Now, what is the implication of self-defense and the alliance to the cause of freedom?
Well, the implication of self, they're almost one and the same.
Okay.
Because you see, if you do not have life, you cannot exist. So to protect that life, you need to defend yourself. Now you can defend of Biafrans and Yoruba people or Oduduwa people together will make our survival guaranteed. Not even a question. Because the land mass involved, they know it. The only thing that we are asking from our people now is for them to know that even within the fraudulent 1999 Constitution, there is a section that says you have a right to life. We need to use it, use within it. And very much along the Christian and religious lines, there are issues that you can pick up from there. So I'm just tuning into what Prince and Iheracho said. So what I would like to say very much, the alliance between Biafrans and Oduduwa people begins to get stronger and stronger. Yes, for sure, there's going to be mistrust, there's going to be misunderstandings, but we have to build it. We have to build that alliance. And Oduduwa people. When the 1967 to 70 war was going on, I was a young child. I was a child. I didn't understand. Even when my teenagers, I didn't understand. But in going through, seeing the 30-year, 40-year process of what you guys went through, it dawned on me that we were facing the same problems. Many of our Yoruba leaders, unfortunately, they got sucked into the. We have to remember something. The Fulanis are not in control of this agenda. The Fulanis are not in control of this agenda. So if we focus on the Fulanis, we've lost the game already. We need to look at the game that's being played at a world level. That is simply it. They are merely proxies for those who are directing the action. So that is why it is critical. If those who are directing the actions are working, why are you working as a Biafra alone, Yoruba alone? Why? We are stronger together, and they fear our unity. They fear they literally fear. Look, 24.
So there's something about our unity that would help to. There's something about our unity that they fear, and that will help us get what we have to get.
Very much so. They fear, and that is why defense, self-defense, and alliance, they go hand in hand. They go. So any division that we have in mind, as Biafrans are upset with Oduduwa upset with Biafra, so whatever misgivings we may have, we will do ourselves more harm. Really foster that unity, because that unity of strength is what will carry us through. Let me give you a little picture. Let me just give you a little taste of what I'm saying. The people who are oppressing us in the covert manner, 26, 1885, they signed the Berlin Conference. 14 European countries, including Russia, including US. Listen to what I just said. Including Russia, including US. They have fight. They put it to one side, and they signed the agreement. And that February 26, 1885 Berlin Conference treaty that they signed has divided Africa till what you see till today. It hasn't changed. It used to oppress us. So why are we not going to unite to free ourselves? That's the only way. That is the only way we can achieve this. So I want to call on everybody, Biafrans, Yorubas, even the Middle Belt, because they have been written out. If you look at the INEC map about how they see the number of voters, they just put Northwest, Northeast, North Central. There is no Middle Belt. There is no Middle Belt. And they say, where is the Middle Belt? So these are the things we need to. This job is much bigger than we realize, but we have to. We can do this. I have every firm belief that us all working together and being very clear about people, independence for Biafrans, independence for Middle Belt, even for the Hausas, because many of them are against what is been happening to them. They're being killed in their own land. So our unities, self-defense and alliance are one and the same. They are in tandem. Before you can get to talk about alliance, you need to have a process of defending and protecting your life. You have a right to life, as said in the Constitution. The UN Charter gives you the right to protect yourself, and you have the right to self-determination. Find ways within it to free ourselves. And that is where our alliance is very, very key. I hope that makes sense, my brother. If you have more questions, I'm happy to answer that. I'll stop for now. Thank you. Please.
Very, very well. That brings me to this question right now, this next question. But before that, I'm going to bring a particular statement made by Anthony Blinken. Yesterday, the U.S. Secretary of State, he made a particular statement, and which, of course, that statement makes us understand the international conspiracy, the international focus, the international sentiment, and the international grip which the Fulanese are using as a basis of holding us down, which means that they are behind it. Now, let me showcase that particular statement by Anthony Blinken. Let me showcase it here. I want to bring it so that people can see it again. It's very, very critical I do that now. So let me see if I can see it quickly. Now, I think, yes, this is to support Nigeria's upcoming election. Now, in spite of the killings, in spite of everything, in spite of what is going on, in spite of the terrible things happening to the people, and of course, today we hear that Anthony Blinken is preparing to go to the to Israel, just because 9 people were killed, and the issue of Palestine and all of that, and he wants to travel there. But in the contraption called Nigeria, we have been having series of killings continually, and been there for years. Yet what Anthony Blinken could talk about was election. He said, today I'm announcing visa restrictions for those involved in undermining democracy in Nigeria. He's talking about democracy in a structure that is not nation, that is not a nation. Now you can see. Now I want us to talk about this. Let's make our submission on this before I go to the next question. And please, before you say anything, Citizen AY, let me hear what Prince has to say about this issue.
I think somebody was calling, so my volume must have gone down. I'm gonna go out and come in. Let Citizen AY take on the question, and then I'll reply. I'm going out and coming back.
All right. Okay, Citizen AY, please deal with this matter. Talk to the people. Let the people understand this.
See, we need to understand something. As far as the world powers are concerned, US, UK, France, Germany, all of them, African lives don't matter. It doesn't matter. My brother, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Can hear you. Although we're having a little crack,
okay,
but it's still coming out. It goes very bad out. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I could hear something.
Okay. So, you know what? Please, you can just go out and come in again. So that it can be clear. You can go out and come in again, so it will be clear, so that the people can get everything you have to say. And Prince Ezem, wade into this matter before Citizen AY comes in when he's clear with that. Please wade into it.
Yeah. I want to apologize to our audience. I mean, there are some technical issues that that are out of our control. So I hope everybody understands. Now, I have continuously stated and maintained that we are dealing with evil of the highest magnitude, and people need to understand this. The devils of this earth are too crafty, too wicked, too racist, too insane and insightless. How do you know the devil? The devil says one thing and does another. The devil is used to playing games. You see, when you talk to ordinarily, let me use the word ordinarily, when you talk to the European community, Americans, those in leadership in all these so-called civilized but highly uncivilized nations of this world, when you talk to them about the issues of Nigeria and the poor leadership, ordinarily, they will tell you Nigeria is a sovereign nation, that they are not interested, that you're dealing with an independent nation. In fact, they will advise you to go and become part of the system and try to change the system within. They will even agree with you that Nigeria has corrupt leadership. Okay? Because these are the games they play. They think they are smart, but they are looking woefully shameful, woefully lacking in integrity. They have nothing of decency attached to them. Forget about how they dress and how they speak and what their color and what they pretend that they are representing. These people will tell you to go and change Nigeria by yourselves. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. Now, I need you to listen and understand that these are the devils talking. The same people telling you this will suddenly change once there is election. Remember, They see election as the only route, the only route, as the Americans will say, through which you renew your slavery certificate.
Yep.
Suddenly, they are rushing and putting out statements and rushing into a Nigeria that they told you was a sovereign nation. They activate their army, which I have told you, the army in Nigeria, the law enforcement agencies in Nigeria are simply occupying forces. They are psychologically trained to be that way. They will activate them to kill any and everybody that wouldn't. Haven't you seen your military, the so-called threatening that they are going to use their gun and force you to have election? Look, we need you. Without understanding, you can't do anything in this world. Without understanding, you can't change anything in this world. So we want to make sure you understand what is holding you down. It is these so-called international community that are not local to any other international community. How can you have an international community, but that international community is not local to any other community? Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. Who are these international communities? These are all nonsensical narratives and compositions they use to confuse the hell out of even your most educated. They say they are educated, but they can't analyze anything, let alone critically analyze anything. So what you are seeing Anthony Blinken saying is because election has been activated and they are all working towards making sure you're forced into renewal of your slavery certificate. That is why anybody that tells you that they are Nigerian is simply a conditioned, fixated, and as far as I am concerned, and objectively, they are happy, smiling slaves. That's what they are. Anybody that tells you they are a Nigerian is just is conditioned beyond that conditioning we give to animals. Okay? So I want you to understand the nature and the way these people operate. On one hand, they will tell you it is a sovereign nation. On the other hand, you will see a sovereign nation going to usher in everything they have as their case at Chatham House. All of them will be rushing to Chatham House to go and declare their intentions. Yet they are a sovereign nation. But we have not asked ourselves, where is the Chatham House in Nigeria where prospective American presidents or prospective British prime ministers come to tell you what they are going to do and what they are not going to do? Yet you claim to be a nation, a country. Aren't you ashamed? So in simple terms, I just want to bring it to the open so you understand that the same people that tell you that you are a sovereign nation, that you should go and solve your own problem, immediately will change their narrative and begin to do that which is evil in the face of God by now telling you that you must vote, becoming so active in your local politics. In fact, they will even tell you that they will have international observers. But you as a sovereign nation will never have international observers. You will never be able to go and observe their own elections. Aren't you confused and stupid? Aren't you embarrassed of what you have become? Aren't you shameful of yourselves? And you tell me you are a professor, you are a PhD, you are a master's degree holder, you have a first degree in this and that, and you begin to dissect academia that somebody handed over to you for your own self-destruction without you seeing what is in it. Aren't you embarrassed that you're practicing a religion that somebody gifted to you and you couldn't see through it? So I am asking the citizens of this world, particularly our Yoruba brothers and sisters, for us to all wake up and know that this is the time, there is no other time. This is the time to stand firm and declare that which God has put in you for only this period and this space, because you cannot practice any of those things once you depart from this world. You must declare yourself. You must be the one to introduce yourself. You must be the one to identify yourself. You must be the one. How How else can I put it? So let me just rest it by reminding you that those who are telling you now to go and vote are the ones that told you that you are a sovereign nation. Those who are forcing you and telling you that how you are going to vote, we are the same people that told you that you are a sovereign nation. You should go and do your own thing. We must do our own thing right now in our own way. I thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Citizen AY. Here we are, poverty, death, everything going wrong in the contraption. Of course, it's not a country, it's not a nation, it doesn't have the definition of a nation or country. Everything going wrong, and yet nobody says anything. They tell you go and solve your problems. Suddenly election comes, and they are so active. They are bringing international observers. They are so very, very keen and very, very interested in making sure there is what they call free and fair election, which they first organized in 1960, and they destroyed the whole system and rigged the whole thing themselves, and now talking about free and fair, and then making sure that they make sure that this election continues. And Blinken is out talking. What do you have to say about this?
Well, just to go back to thank you very much for the words spoken by my elder brother Prince. You know, a lot of very, very strong statements made there, and facts that many should hold on to. Now, what I would like to say is this: what Anthony Blinken was saying there, like I said before, the value that as far as there is no value to the life of an African. There is no value to the life of an African, Once you can understand that that's their thinking, that is how they operate, in how they interact with Africans. They are the ones in control. They say we do. We have no quit. We have no, we have no right to anything. We have to, in their mind. But they forget that we are the first people of this, the first people. Yoruba land, Yoruba people has been in existence for at least years. There's a fact. I've got evidence of this. This is not a question of somebody saying. I've got saying. And even they want to find that evidence. The Biafra, the same thing. So we have to start understanding is that when they make pronouncements like that, it's a way for them. Every 4 years, every few months, they will come back and they will put the drug in again, so that you don't come out of that system. That is what we have to break down. Knowledgeable. We are to look at how Biafrans and Oduduwa people look at it outside. When you go and walk in that country, just see the level of success that we have. 20 all countries around the world. But then in our own surroundings, is designed in such a way that we are enslaved. We cannot move a muscle. And they know the reason why they're doing that is they are benefiting enormously. The gold, the oil, the gas. They are benefiting so much that they just want us to never realize the value. Now, this is where we, Biafrans, Oduduwa, Middle Belt, and we need to work together to begin to empower our people. One of the first things that we need to tell our people, I found this out the other day, is this. Within that same constitution, do you realize government areas, they have no constitutional powers? Zero constitutional powers. What does that mean? If government hands down the money, the budget for the local government area, yes, to the state, and hold on to it, and there is no constitutional powers that the local can use to demand for that money. That is why our never been developed. It's been designed that way. It was put in the 1999 constitution at the beginning. When we talk about that constitution is a fraud, this is what we mean, because the foundation of that constitution, people to whom the benefit should come to force have been denied access to those resources. And vote again to keep in the same system with the support of those who probably the Fulanis cannot write the document. The Fulanis cannot write that document. I maintain that document because I've made some comparisons with Australian documents, Canadian documents, and I've seen something. So this is not the handwork of the Fulani. This is some the colonial powers, and that's what we have to really understand. The game that it's time we start playing that game. The simple thing we need to do is unite. So I'm not interested in what to replace this. I'm more interested in how we are going to awake our people in these communities, in our local languages. Let them know that what you call a government, we don't yet. They have deliberately disempowered local government areas, which means that they sit on the money meant to improve your local government area. And they will not give past the money to the government. The sad thing is when the people go and elect somebody now in the local government area, you say the elections in the local government area. The next day, when you go and ask them how to, you understand, well, I'm waiting for the state. The state will give the money. The state hasn't given the money. So you're stuck. So what the system is the problem. The voting is your waste of time until we wait to fix it is to go for self-determination. We need to go for self-determination. So it's what Anthony Blinken and others are doing. Guterres came. He said, oh, we are having some of the differences between the people who are being killed and the people who are killing. The same Nigerian class. But you are telling us to have a sit-down discussion with them? If they would say, I'm Israel against whoever is killing them. But when it comes to us, oh no, can you see the subtle differences? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing of the situation? And the only way we can do it is our unity. Our unity is Biafrans, Yorubas, Middle Belt. Definitely those three, if the house sign, but those three, we need to unite because the people who are oppressing us, they are united in their. Let me say that again. The people who are oppressing us, they are united in the. So what must we do? We must unite in getting our freedom. We need to get our freedom. Anything else will not cut it. So I'll stop there for now. Thank you very much.
Before I bring Dr. Ngozi into the matter to talk about this, I want to still ask Citizen AY this. Citizen
Yes.
AY, there's this,
Yes.
we are very, very religious.
Yes.
And I think the colonial masters also saw when they were coming into our place, they discovered that we like worshiping. We are very religious. So they felt that they needed to bring pattern to us. Because since we love to worship, and there need to be something presented to us as the best and the superior form of worship. And now, if you look at it also critically now, you discover that in the Oduduwa nation, we have the two major religion, the Christian religion. Of course, Christianity became a religion when the Roman Empire took over it and created some stuff as a control. And then we have Islamic religion. And then now we have these two religions. And then these so-called political powers want you to submit yourself to one of the religions according to the order, based on who is in charge and all of that. And then they influence these people who are in charge of the religious organizations to make sure they toe their line politically to sustain Nigeria and keep Nigeria on control, based on the fact that the religion has become a means of controlling the minds of the people, so that the politicians will have a way of keeping the contraption together by using the religious leaders to continue the narrative in the religious circle. Now, what is your take about the complication about religion in the Oduduwa nation? What is your take about it?
Now, one of the things, I think one of the first things we have to realize that this is not unique to Biafra. This is the same system right across the whole of Africa. It's the same in French, whether you're speaking English, the same system, cause confusion, cause religion, force them to speak the religion. Even the French read the Bible in French, read the English, the Bible in French. The only one that is the same is still both in France and in the French colonies and the British colonies. But the interpretation is still very much influenced by all those external forces. The things that I would like to go back to again and state is the issue of the Berlin Conference. One of the things that they wrote, they had a saying, they said to eat, drink, think, and sleep. So what they've done is taking our African minds out of our body, using religion and replacing it with either Islam or foreign to us. So many of us are believing in all these prayers and everything else, and not understanding that this is just pure brainwashing. And Prince here that just said, before they came, we were religious. But if you look at it, the thing as spirituality was taken away. Why is it that everything that our artifacts was put in museums? We have to stare at what our ancestors did behind the museum wall. We can't touch it. But they're giving us the Bible. Why? You know, this is psychological. What they've done here is to really destroy. Only people that can restore ourselves is us. You know, we have to emancipate ourselves from ourselves, can free our mind. Only us. You know, Bob Marley was so right. Questions about the way he went, but let's not go into that one, because the word, you know, when you hear just think, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, but I still can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy. None of it can stop for the time. How long must they kill our prophets? Stand aside and look. Whoa. Some say it's just that we've got to fulfill.
Wow, it's as if you are the one who sang. It's as if you are the one who sang the song.
This song is all I ever. Oh yeah, redemption.
Wow.
Redemption
song.
Disconnect ourselves from this brainwashing.
Yes.
Religion. I'm not saying it. Please, if you are practicing it in Africa, you need to really, you know, it's a different. You will understand how it's been taught in Europe and how it's been taught in Africa, and we need to understand that they're using this to control our mind. That we have to separate that. We need to reconnect to what our ancestors did. How built kingdom that lasted for centuries upon centuries. Using how they did all of the things that it worked, and they came. The people that colonized us, they came to the entire kingdom. They burnt it off. They took away stuff. They profited from it. And you are telling me to support one Nigeria? Nigeria is not my name. I reject the name Nigeria. I will reject it until the day I die.
Wow.
Forever. I am a Yoruba man. And the imposition, for as long as you answer to a foreign name, you are a slave. You are a slave. And the Bible will condition you to accept the Bible and Quran. And they're conditioning your mind to accept the construct they created. And that is what our people, we need to go down spoken to told to our people in our languages. Son Yoba, to speak it in Biafra, all that, to make sure they understand that we have to repair. We have people think when I say that people say, oh, you're making an excuse, but it's a fact. Psychologically, African in us, and they put European in there. They've taken away the African in us and they put the Arab. Arab and the European do not belong on African soil. Just like Africans don't belong on European soil. African soil with African mind to get the best out of our lives. And they've destroyed that. So that the first ones to really express what has really damaged us for many, many men. And it's time we begin to do that work. We have a lot of work for us to do, but it starts with our unity. When we unite, no force on this planet can stop us. When we unite, because the people who are oppressing us, they are united in our oppression, united in our struggle to get our freedom. No question to some extent. Or if you need further clarification, I'm happy to provide it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for that. In fact, you brought us to another point of this, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. So redemption comes when emancipation is done. And he said something critically, by yourself. You must emancipate yourself. By yourself. So, Dr. Ngozi, you're welcome to the program. Before Prince weighs into that, because I know he has so many things to say regarding self-emancipation, mental emancipation. Now, Dr. Ngozi, you're welcome live to the program today. I don't know if you are busy or you can talk now. Can you talk now? You can talk now, Doctor. Okay, you're muted. It seems you're muted.
Yes.
Yes. And all right. Before I ask you, for our viewers, you're going to have time to call in, because we know some of you may have a question to ask. I can see Vine Maxwell is already asking if they can call in. Don't worry, we're going to give you time after the next question. As it goes around now, you're going to come in and you're going to ask your questions in anything, whether pertaining religion, whether talking about whatever you want to ask, you can ask. Doctor, now emancipating yourself from mental slavery, how can I do that?
Kelechi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you all so much. That's a great word. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. How can you do that? Just as the word says.
Hold on. Hold on.
I was listening to the song and I was just busy. I was singing it for my
Doctor, before you go on, let me say this. I have been taught in church to believe so many things and to believe in Nigeria and to pray for Nigeria. And now Citizen AY is telling me to emancipate myself from mental slavery. How can I do that, for God's sake? I am used to believing in Nigeria.
Yes. Emancipating yourself from mental slavery is a question. I mean, it's a good one that you're asking, but it's something that every individual has to do by themselves. And mental slavery, just like the previous speaker has said, Citizen AY has said, it is, if we don't do that by ourselves, we're as good as just dead. We are as good as dead if you cannot emancipate yourself from that mental slavery. And that mental slavery is shown in different things going on in Nigeria today. In that contraption, going to the Chatham House, having the military do things that they morally know is wrong, but because somebody is there using their psyche, working up their psyche, telling them to go and do that thing. And then you see the governors, the local government chairman, the senators, the legislators, nobody is talking. That is mental slavery. All these years, none of them is talking, even when they see things that are morally wrong going on in this society. They are not talking. Look at the military. There was they used the army tank, the machine, to bulldoze somebody's house. Innocent people's homes are being burnt down in different parts of Nigeria, in the southeast, in the southwest, in the north. So once they see you as a threat and they cannot kill you or get you, the next thing, they will go and pull down your house. In what country in the world today do you see sane people use the military artillery that we, the citizens, we use our resources, we use our money to buy, to give to Nigerian military to protect us from external invaders? The same tools, the same equipment we bought and gave them to protect us, they are now using the same equipment to attack us. So that mental slavery that is making them, that pushes them to use our own, what we approved for them, the machineries, the guns that we approved for them to use to protect us, they now use it to destroy us. That is the height of mental slavery. And that is why it has come to the point now we don't have to beg people to emancipate themselves from mental slavery. Nigerians that want to emancipate themselves, they already did that. We don't have to preach to those that don't want to do that. When they pull people's homes down with Nigerian military and armored tanks, did you see the governors come out to condemn that? Did you see the senators come out to condemn that? Did you see any of the legislators in that particular community, in that ward? We voted somebody in that ward to go and represent us in Abuja. When that home is being pulled down and all those houses are being burnt down, where are the senators? Where are the legislators? Where are the governors that come from that area? Have they come out to say, no, you can't do this? Even if you are looking for somebody, go and look and find a place, find a way to get the person. You cannot destroy an inanimate object just because you are looking for somebody. That shows you the psyche and the mentality of these people that call themselves Nigerian leaders. And that is why Nigerians are ready to liberate themselves from that mental torture, from that mental slavery. And we will start by no election in Biafra land, because the people that we've elected to protect us, to talk for us, before, none of them are talking while we are being killed, while our homes are being burnt down, while our homes are being pulled down by Nigerian armored tank. None of them is talking. So why are you going again to now say you are now going to vote the same people again or conduct any election in Biafra land or Oduduwa land or even Arewa land, even in the middle belt or in the south south? That is not happening because we have no leadership. We have none. Thank you.
Wow. Prince, before you see this mental slavery, I have been conditioned for so long. I have to, my mom taught me how to pray for the country. She took me to church, and I'm told to pray for Nigeria, to pray for the leaders, to continue. It will be better one of these days. I was very little. They take me to church. Sometimes I fast. They take us through the process of fasting and prayer. We fast for Nigeria. We pray for Nigeria. And now I am getting old. I am still praying. In fact, the prayer point is now more. It's not working in my time. Now, I want, before you say anything about this, I want to play this particular video that has to do with, it's just about 30 seconds. We talked about this man. I don't know whether he's doing it politically or he's real, but he says, we have failed the younger ones, and the best thing we're going to do is to get away and get out of their way. Now, let me play it. It's so funny because I watched it several times and it was amusing. But anyways, but it makes sense, because if you talk about the older ones, we're talking about the religious leaders, we're talking about the political, criminals and all of that, and using the religious people to hold us. Now, let's watch this briefly. It's just 10 seconds.
There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way. There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
He's talking about a devastating, weapon, which is the young people. They have failed. They have actually done so many wrongs too. And these young people are very organized, and they have received that, teaching of mental slavery. They have been able to save themselves from that mental, restriction and all of that. And he said the only thing they can do is to get out of their way. Please, Citizen AY, how do you juxtaposition this with the context of Nigeria, or maybe Prince is here? Let me bring him in before you wade into Citizen AY. Let me get Prince to talk about this. Now, this man is talking about the young people who have now liberated themselves mentally, and they have become they are now mentally stable, and they want to take what belongs to them. And he said to them, the best thing we can do now is to get out of their way. Now, how do we apply this to what we're doing?
I couldn't agree more. Can I begin by making it clear that majority of the people occupying the space in Africa, particularly Nigeria, are suffering from this mental slavery our brother spoke about. And I want to home in on the fact that I said it before, we are dealing with occupying forces. That's, my sister articulated it very well. When we are talking about people that we arm to protect us, they turn every ammunition against us. Mental slavery had made us not even realize that these people are occupying forces, psychologically programmed to work against us, to destroy us.
Go on, please. I want you to explain to our audience, those who don't understand what you mean by occupying forces. Let them understand, please. Make them understand.
Occupying forces are forces that look like yours, but they are trained psychologically to kill you, to destroy you, to torture you, to do every harm possible to keep you enslaved. They are occupying forces. They might be your brothers and sisters, but they are trained to work against you. They look like you, but they are not yours. They are occupying forces. That is what you're seeing. That's why Nigerian military will never look friendly to you as a civilian, because they are occupying forces. Let alone now they have been infused with terrorists that are sent to kill you and take your land. People need to wake up to that. It is the same mental slavery that led you, Kelechi, and led many people to go and listen to preaching that says, pray for Nigeria, pray for your leaders, pray for this and pray for that. The same mental slavery that confused an average Nigerian to begin to worship things God created and put under us. Things like money. Things like trees, because it is through trees that we make money. People began to worship things God created and put under us. They began to worship the sun. They began to worship the trees. They began to worship they created holy water that God made for our own use and put under us. They created holy oil. They created now holy sand. They now create all sorts of madness, and they don't know what they are doing when they are told that they are being idolatrous in worshiping anything created by God. They even went as far as creating the worshiping things man made from the things God created. Things like money, things like crude oil, things like what you call natural resources that have no meaning without a human being giving it a name, giving it a meaning, giving it value. The Europeans and the Americans, they're worshiping idols, money, crude oil. They're worshiping all these things. That's why they want to enslave everybody so they can carry on worshiping all these things. Let me make it clear that God is a jealous God. And God has made it clear that it is only He that will be worshipped. And that worship must be done only in two ways. Not through holy water, not through holy oil, not through the sun, not through money, not through anything. It is only in two ways. That those two ways are in spirit and in truth. Until we understand this, our march for freedom, because it's only God that can get it for us, we are very few. And God wants to work with us, but we must acknowledge God in His fullness. And then God would come and use us to obtain this freedom. So we need to get away from that mental slavery and see God for what God is, the creator of everything. He made sure we understand this by making sure that neither you nor I, nor our respective ancestors, respective parents came out of this world with a pin. Nobody came in with a pin. Nobody came in with a leaf. Nobody came in with a grass. Nobody came in with a stone. Nobody came in with anything whatsoever. So God made it obvious that He created everything. And all He did was to make us recreator by using the things that He created to make other things. We need to capture this and know that our duty is to worship God only in spirit and in truth, not through whatever we carved or whatever we think it is where it is happening, not through our fellow mortal beings. Stop following these people in robe and thinking that they are leading you to God. They can't even lead themselves. They don't know where they are going, and you're following them, looking for the next miracle. You need to be very careful. We are following only God, and we are going to get our freedom through God. Oluwa, Oluwa. We are going to do it with God. Please, that is emancipation from your mental slavery. They have planted so many evil in your minds, and you are happily and smiling along as a slave. Stop your happy and smiling slavery behavior. The next thing you tell me, oh, Nigerians are happy people. It is happiness in insanity. Happiness. I deal with mental health patients. They're always smiling. You are smiling in insanity. You better understand it. Listen, I got to go now. I told you I have only 1 hour.
Yes.
Somehow I picked up and they are calling me and calling me and calling me. I need to really rush. I'm so sorry. I hope you understand.
All right, please, definitely. Of course, you said it before the program, so
Nice.
definitely. Thank you so much.
Bye now.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work and take care.
Yeah, you said.
Thank you,
Bye now.
Prince.
Bye.
He said people who have mental
Please.
problem always smile. They always smile and they're always happy. So it simply means that if you're happy doesn't mean that you're all right, or if you're smiling doesn't mean you're all right. Now, before I bring in Citizen AY to say on this, also to expand more on this issue of mental slavery, because what we are finding now, why we are still down, is because we have refused to get up as a people. If we are determined to get up, we are going to get up. Britain cannot hold us. US cannot hold us. They can't hold us. But we have been kept down, and they gave us something that will keep us down. They gave us the overdose of religion. And we have taken that overdose of religion, and we keep listening to people who are telling us to pray for this thing they have designed and to keep us down. So mental slavery, we are kept down by what they have given to us by overdose. And we have taken it so much that we are so comfortable, they have to tell us what to do. Pray for Nigeria, we pray. And sing for Nigeria, we sing. Dance for Nigeria, we dance. And everything we do is about Nigeria. And we are so comfortable laughing in our madness or in our mental situation, you know. And that is what Prince is saying. Now, I'm going to say to the people who are watching, if you want to call in, you can call in now. The number is, you have a question to ask our guests and all of that, to ask Citizen AY or Dr. Ngozi, whatever question you have to ask, you can ask, and whatever you want to say, you say +212 707 898 194 +212 707 898 194. I'll say it one more time. +2 12 707 898 194. Now, Citizen AY, before you wade into this, there's something Prince talked about, of course, on the same narrative of people smiling but suffering, mental problem. And we have a caller already. I wanted to show. Okay, let me take this. Let me take this from Maxwell. Maxwell, you're welcome live and direct, and the people are listening. Our guests are here to also wade into what you have to say. You're welcome. I think the network. Okay, Maxwell, you're welcome. Please go on live and direct. You are live and direct. Please go on.
Thank you so much, Mazi Kelechi, and good afternoon to my senior brother AY, Citizen AY. Thank you so much for coming, and good afternoon also to Ngozi, our beautiful sister. And this is Maxwell. I'm Bolgatanga, the upper eastern part of Ghana, where my father comes from. Look, if we are waiting our people to emancipate themselves, their minds or whatever, in order to give you a good environment, that will come today, it won't come tomorrow, it will not come, in the next century to come. We will continue to suffer, we will continue to weep, we will continue to cry for what the central government, that is the demonic federal government of Nigeria, controlled by the Caliphate North, are doing to us. Look, religion to me is not bad. That is my opinion. But the bad thing in religion is the wickedness and the greediness of our people. They have turned religion into an avenue, to extract money from our people. They have introduced their own ways of doing things. Religion in Africa, especially in Nigeria, has been influenced by individual characters. People that are known criminals that are now using religion in order to extort our people.
Very true.
Group controlled by the cabals are now using it as well, using these religious people, some of them, in order to perpetuate evil among our people. They have dined with the harlot that is the central government. The harlot in this context is the federal government that has opened her bed for everybody to sleep with, to go to and dine with. And that is why they cannot speak. If you see any politician speaking boldly in Nigeria, know that the person has not been compromised or dine or go in bed with that harlot called Nigeria. That is what. How many are there? Is there any of them that is speaking out? Let them speak and see if they will not, if that harlot, which is the federal government, will not divorce them. Check around you. These are the things that are keeping us down. And why people are coming out to give and struggle and put out their opinion and the interest to free themselves.
I want to
take away themselves from all these things. Them in. This is the problem we have.
Yes, Maxwell. I want to ask you something. I want to ask you something. Yes, Maxwell, I want to ask you something. You were formerly in the Nigerian military, and of course, you were part of the occupying forces that Prince was talking about. Now, I want to show you something because you were part of the occupying forces, and you're going to tell us. I want you to say something about this madness and how these kinds of madness happen. I want to play a particular video. Please just hang on, don't go off. Just hang on so that you are going to comment on this. You were part of the occupying forces when you were in the military. Now you have seen the light and you have decided to fight for the freedom of the people. Now see, let me play this particular video and you're going to tell us how this come about, or where does this instruction come from, and how did they decide to carry out all of these kinds of action as occupying forces. Now,
Everywhere, Uta. Where the
Mazi Maxwell, so you can go on. So what do you say about this?
Thank you so much. Yes, Mazi Kelechi. I have seen the video before. That was when the young soldiers were firing and setting ablaze houses, I think in Enugu or part of Eastern, any of the eastern part of region, southeastern region. And when you listen to them there, these are not professionals. These are not trained professional soldiers. These are not conventional soldiers. In as much as we are bad in the discharge of the orders given to us from above, there are so many of us that have souls in us. And I will not speak for any other person, Mazi Kelechi, and our listeners, our dear listeners. I am going to speak for myself. Because once I am in active, a process or in the war front, once I don't kill innocent people, and nothing will make me tamper with or loot anything, I see in my way. Unless something that I will pick from there, eat from there to at least stop, hunger from, killing me in the war front. But to take proceeds of war to my house, I forbid it. And that is what my mom and my dad told me while I was in Nigeria. You see, there are so many, these boys that you saw firing, these I call them trigger happy, soldiers. If you are giving orders, there are orders that are very, very deadly. That is why we say, use your number 6. When you see soldiers telling my brother, my colleague, comrade, please use your number 6. That number 6 is that extra sense that you have to at least say, this action that I'm going to take right now, is it humanly needed for me to do it? Is it human for me to, take this kind of action? Once your mind says, your conscience says, no, you don't need to do it. This is the reason why I resigned from the army 2004.
Yes.
Such orders were given to me to go to Southern Kaduna, Kapancha, Takshia local government, to do the same thing these people were asked to do there.
Okay.
In fact, look.
So that's what I'm trying to find out. That's what I wanted to know. Maxwell, that was what I wanted to know, actually. I wanted to know if there are orders like this that come. So you have proven, you have said it, that when orders like that do come, that means the Fulani Caliphate is actually running the program of the British and running the program of slavery and subjugation. So that was what I was trying to find out.
If you listen to those guys, what they were saying there is not just, it's not militarily, white.
Yes.
Ota, Abasu, Ota. When a soldier in Hausa is telling you, Ota, Abasu, Ota, that is using the rifle to fire them. Give them fire. These are obnoxious language that's supposed to be. And remember, most of these soldiers are not even educated. Most of them are not educated. Please, I passed through nursery, primary, and secondary. And I have so many courses in the army in Nigeria, both within the country and outside the country. I am exposed, and I know what it takes to handle human beings. So I don't have the right to do what these people are doing. What they are doing is the order that they give to them. Yes. And as you know, Igbo people say, when you place a fighter will not say, oh, my coach asked me to lie like this. When the enemy is changing other tactics, you have to fight according to. But this one is.
All right, thank you so much. Because of time,
for me, I cannot do it.
Thank you so much. Because of time,
it's left for the soldier now to use his wisdom and conscience in order to address civilians that are not a threat.
Yes, thank you so much.
That is demonic. That is my position on that.
Thank you so much.
And God bless
Just
you.
because of time, you have a lot to say. I know you always have a lot to say, but because of time, so that our guests can wade into this. Citizen AY, you have seen the level of destruction that Nigeria has brought to lives of people, and you can imagine the barbaric behavior of the people. Now, Prince Ezem was talking, of course, as we were saying initially, based on what he was saying. Now, what do you think? What do you say about what he was talking about then? Okay, it seems that we've lost Citizen AY when he returns. Dr. Ngozi, are you still here? Let me know if we have them here. Okay, let's pick this call first before we continue. Maybe when we return.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Dr. Ngozi, you saw that level of wickedness and barbaric attitude by those soldiers, and these are one of the reasons. Now you can hear from Maxwell that these orders actually come from their orgas to kill the people. Now, how do we begin to look at things in the eyes based on the fact that our religious leaders still tell the people until yesterday and even this Sunday, they are still going to tell the people to pray for Nigeria? They have been used by these same political idiots and wicked foes to keep the people's mind stopped and holding on to what is killing them. Now, what do you have to say about this? What do we do? How can the people begin to now listen to themselves and understand that whenever they are told to pray for Nigeria, they're only told to maintain their slavery mentality?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kelechi. Praying for Nigeria. Again, we try to let people know that the relationship you have with your creator is always going to be a personal thing. Your relationship with your creator is a personal thing. It's not by what somebody else tells you or what somebody else defines for you or what you think is a status quo. Your relationship with God, the relationship with your Allah, your relationship with your creator is something personal. If you follow the teachings of God, the teachings of Allah, you will find instances where they've abhorred violence. They've abhorred violence. They've abhorred everything that will degrade humanity. It's in the Bible. It's in the Quran. You just have to read it. So those people that tries to use religion to continue to perpetuate evil and continue to keep you down so that you cannot start questioning. Let me use that word, certain things that people do. Those are the people that are really destroying the country. So it is not just using religion. It is also our responsibility to know that in Nigeria, there are just two class of people. Two class of people. Those perpetuating this criminality, those perpetuating this injustice, those perpetuating these killings, and those that are being killed, those that are on the other side suffering this. This video you just showed, let me tell you one thing. Most times, there is no, even going by the Constitution of Nigeria, there is no way those people that have those guns that are shooting and saying, there is no way they can enter any state in Nigeria without the approval of the state governors and the state legislators. There's no way. Even though we know,
correct.
Even though we know things like the police is being federally controlled and stuff like that, there is no way those people are killing and destroying those homes, killing those people. There is no way they will have capacity to do what they are doing if the governor of that state, the senators in that state, the House of Representative members in that state, the legislators in that state, and to extension, maybe the traditional leaders in that state, there is no way those people will come in and wreak that havoc without the approval of the state governors. And that is why it is important that every single Nigerian, if you want to vote, you have to ask yourself, what has your governor and legislators done to protect the massacre of your people? What have they done to stop people from destroying their land, destroying your homes, taking over your homes, and placing your parents, your mothers and sisters in IDP camps? You have to ask that question before you can have the moral to go and vote again in any election in Nigeria. Because those people shooting those guns, whether they are trained, whether they are not trained, whether they are fake, whether they are not fake, they are Nigerian military. Whether they are trained, it's not the business of Nigerian citizens to know, oh, this military, these ones are trained, these ones are not trained, these ones are, but they are Nigerian military. Nigerian military, they have a process, there's a protocol they go through before they finally arm these guys to go into the community. It does not happen in a vacuum. When they give them guns, there is already an order. There's already an order to them. When you go to this community, if you see something like that, fire, clear everybody. We all know. So when you have an order like this, and you see people like this carrying out those orders, our concern should not really be those people that are shooting the gun. No. Every single Nigerian concern should be who ordered them to go to that community and carry out what they are doing. Somebody did that. And your legislator, your senator, your House of Representative member, your governor is part of that plan. Your governor is the one that told them and allowed them to come in and shoot. Those should be the targets, not those ones carrying gun, whether they train them or not. And that is why we said there will be no election in Biafra land. Because our governors have told these people to come in and kill us and destroy our homes and destroy our economy. When they say destroying people's economy, you should know economy is not just buying and selling. No. This Nigerian military have consistently, persistently done, and the order is from above, and the order is also from our governors, our senators. They've consistently ordered them to continue the destruction of the economy of Southeasterners, Southwesterners, Middle Belt. Because when you destroy somebody's house, when you kill somebody, you are directly or indirectly destroying the person's economy. When you go to a market and burn down the market, you have destroyed the economy. So when you say that the Igbos, their market, what they know is buying and selling, or the Oduduwas, that they are not as rich, or the Igbos they have, because you, the government and the governors, have consistently, systematically want to lower, destroy the economy of an average Igbo person. How else can you explain to the world that you will go to a market and instruct the Nigerian military to burn down people's market just because you're looking for one person or the other? What has the market done for you? What has the goods and services done for you? What are the water tanks that people are selling done to you? So it is the wickedness of the highest order. And those that are doing this, including our governors, our legislators that are part of this, we have said enough is enough. We cannot send you or validate you any longer because you cannot protect us. And I believe most Nigerians, including the southeast, southwest, south-south, middle belt, the areas, most of them have made up their mind that this 2023 election, this next month, it will not happen in Nigeria, because when we vote, the people that we voted to go and represent us, they do not talk when the citizens are killed. Their houses are burnt down. Their businesses are burnt down. They do not talk. They don't talk. So how can we continue to now say you're voting somebody again to go and do something? No, that's not going to happen.
Well, thank you so much for that submission. It's powerful. Citizen AY, I want to ask you a specific question, especially with the Oduduwa Nation, because I know that the Oduduwa Nation is very, very determined to get freedom. You know, of course, Oduduwa people are educated, so definitely when it talks about, when they talk about freedom, you know that they know what they are talking about, because they know that Nigeria is illegal. That entity called Nigeria is illegal. It's not. So how can you be dwelling on illegality to justify legality? It doesn't make sense, because if Nigeria is illegal, then it simply means that I cannot validate election in an illegal system or a structure. It doesn't make sense. Now, what is the level of resistance you face in the course of getting and fighting for Oduduwa Nation? The level of resistance you're getting from the politicians, from the Fulanis, and from the outside world.
Oh. That is very, very high. Enlighten our people.
I think we're having a problem now with your audio. I don't know if you can check it out, or you go in and go out and come in again. Yes, it's cracking. It's cracking. If you can just go, So we're talking about legality, carrying out a legal process in an illegal system. It doesn't make sense. We're told that slavery has been abolished, and yet the tool of slavery, or the institution or the system or the business created by slavery, is still there, being used by these people to control the people. And yet we are told slavery has been abolished. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Or what do you think, Dr. Ngozi? Nigeria was created by a slavery program, and then now you are telling us that we have abolished slavery, and now so and then the name Nigeria is still there. It's supposed to have gone with the abolishment. But yet, since Citizen AY is here now, please continue in that direction. What is the level of resistance you are getting from inside and outside against Oduduwa Nation?
Resistance a lot. And I'm talking in terms of they are actually infiltrating many of our Yoruba Nation organizations, doing a lot of things. It's very, very difficult for us to be able to really to the level of awareness in our community. There's still a lot of work. We've done a lot of work. There is no doubt about Yoruba Nation. There's no doubt about that. Now, the next step of it is now to deepen that awareness, putting things in the way. This morning, I just saw a video. Whereby they were putting bags of rice, and they said Omenira Yoruba. It's from the politicians. What they are trying to do is to bring that, say, oh, yeah, we support it, but they are politicians pretending to be. And the people, once people start getting that kind of food from them every day, they will support them, thinking they're supporting Yoruba Nation. They're not. Of the infiltration, this trouble that we are facing. We're not done yet. We know this will have to continue in that struggle to raise the level of awareness within our, make people know that, look, if you are taking that bag of rice, it's going to last you for the next 4 years. If you are taking it's going to last you for for 5 months. But we're talking 4 years. And what so these guys are to the point that are broken. local government areas, they have no right. But many people don't aware of. So where they're asking the local government, but you elected you to office, you should be doing something for us. You should be doing that. You should be. But what is now coming? Oh, it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen at all. So that is where we are trying to raise that level of awareness in the community to tell the people, look, you have to be involved. In your community, you have to become protecting yourself. You have to provide your own security. State government is not providing it. Nobody providing security. Your farmer in the we are going to bring.
I think we're now having a problem again with the audio. I think we're now having a problem with the audio. We can't hear you again. So if you can check it out. Citizen AY, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Is there a way you can go out again and come in? Well, I think we can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear us also. Can you hear us? Oh, I don't think he's hearing us. I don't know if you can hear us. Okay, please go out and come in. I think that's, yeah. Fine, Maxwell, you're here again, and let's hear your thoughts on this one before Citizen AY returns. Just briefly, please make it not more than 2 minutes. Just go on. You're live and direct. Please go on. Yes, please.
Thank you so much, Mazi Kelechi. I just called back. I would like to disagree with Dr. Ngozi. When you want to, rationalize Islam and Christianity. Look, there is no place in the Bible that God sanctions, the use of force, to confront people. No, He said go and preach to them. But when you go, if you want to look at Quran chapter 48, verse 29, go and read the meaning and interpret what is there. That is where I said that Islam, and I owe nobody any apology, is a religion of violence. And do you know the meaning of takia? Takia is what is used in English, deceit. When they feel that they cannot get what they want that time, they will now join you, deceive you, and begin to sing in the same tone with you. That is why when you live with the Northerners and ardent Muslims, when you offend him or her, they will tell you, Naji, Ama, Akwirana, Rama. Yes, you offended the person, you say, yes, I've heard you, but there is a time of revenge. Yes, Naji, Ama, Akwirana, Rama. So there is no way if you read this Quran 48, chapter 48, verse 29, you will see that Islam and Christianity are in a parallel line and they can never meet. And that is the reason why they will allow you to bring their cattle and roam your farms, graze on your farms, and when you speak, they slaughter you. But you cannot take them in the Sharia space. You go there, they will arrest you and they will destroy your goods. That is how that thing is. Just read it. In this 48:29, Quran 48:29 said, Muhammad is the prophet of Allah. Those who follow him must be firm on unbelievers and compassion and show compassion to one another. Describe firm. The key word there is firm. What is firm? Harsh, boisterous, violent, and the unbelievers. The unbelievers are you, me, and any other person that did not believe in their own religion. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mazi. Of course, yes, of course, we've heard you there. Of course, yes, Doctor, I know you want to respond to that. Let me briefly just respond before Season AY will continue. Just respond to that, yes.
Yes, thank you so much for the last speaker. And it is okay for us to really agree to disagree or disagree to agree. At the end of the day, we are going to pass information and we're going to pass knowledge to all of us, and we learn from each other. I personally, I have conducted an interview, a study. Let me say that a study about Islam's belief in the areas of. There's a particular context that I did a little interview and study on, and I can forward it to you. The speaker, somebody I just spoke with, the response of the imams that I interviewed, and their response to that. And it was when, if you all remember, there was a time in either Kano, I think it's Kano State, when a woman was stoned to death because of blasphemy. I think she said something to that effect, and the woman was killed because of blasphemy. And those people that killed her, the premise was that she blasphemed, not Deborah's case. There was another case, a woman that has a store. Some people went to her store to wash their leg or something like that. Yeah, I did. When I heard that story, I went out of my way to now go to a couple of Islamic praying centers to interview the imams. I explained to them what happened. I showed them what happened, and I recorded their answer to that. And when I asked this particular imam, what do you think about stoning people to death, or because of blasphemy, or killing somebody in that particular instance? The imam clearly told me, and I can send the interview, Kelechi, you can aid to the viewers, that it is ignorance. Ignorance is what the people that are doing these things, it is ignorance that is pushing them to do some of these things. And when they are doing it, they think they are obeying what the Quran said. Meanwhile, they are doing the wrong thing. And I can say that to you. So it is the politicians, especially the Nigerian politicians, they twist religion, and they use religion to hurt people. When they twist the religion, they twist it in such a way that they can say, oh, any Christian is they can use a particular word, an ungodly person. In all those words they use, if you don't vote for
but doctor,
yeah,
the truth about it is that in Quran, in different verses of the Quran, a Christian is an infidel, and you are told that you don't have a right as a Muslim. And in fact, you are not supposed to believe in. It's clearly stated in the Quran. And I think that all those narratives that these men, portray is that part of Akia just to mislead the people. Now, if you observe this, you discover that the Sultan have not even condemned any of these killers. They don't even come to talk about it. They talk about ignorance. You don't teach the people.
Exactly, and that is where what I know and what they explained that time. We have to look at the culture. When you can remove that culture from that religion, that is where our people need a lot of education. And those that are perpetuating that, they've already learned, the people, they've already learned how to use the religion and intertwine it with the culture and the politics to gain the support they need to carry out those bad behaviors that they are carrying out. So we cannot separate that. I understand what you're saying, but the point I'm trying to make is this. When the leaders do not condemn evil, like stoning of Deborah, if they do not do that, it's not because they don't know it's bad. They do not do that because they are intertwining their politics, their religion, and their culture. They are mixing it together to gain the support of most times the ignorant one in that their religion, and it cuts across. So that is what is going on.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for that. Let me come to you. I think it's going to be the final question here, because we were actually talking about the criticalness of the situation. Now, there's something you said, Citizen AY, that am I going to think deeply into, and I think it's a very, very sensitive matter. When you talked about the politicians giving out bags of rice and using the narrative of the Yoruba, nation context to actually sell the narrative, make it look like the Yoruba nation agitates are actually is still in support of them doing what they're doing. How are you going to that kind of challenge? I think there should be a very wide sensitization program in that regard. Maybe I'm going to put it on myself now too during the broadcast here to talk about that kind of narrative, because it is very dangerous to this thing. What do you think?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yes, loud and clear. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, very true. That's one of the things that we and begin to raise that and identify who are those.
Oh, we are having challenge again hearing you. We're having challenge again hearing you. I don't know. Is there any way you can raise the volume also? I think, but the network here also is not too good. Also, I think. Okay, if you can just go on. Let's see if it's going to be okay. Go on. If let's see what, because I want everyone to hear what you're saying clearly. You can get every point you're making very clearly, because you're making some sensitive points regarding this. Okay, let's wait for him to return. And Doctor, just the last note. What do you advise now? Because we have entered the critical stage of our freedom fighting. We are already in February, and from this month, February, it is going to be looking into the eyes of the tiger. Looking into the problem. As Mazi Simon Epa puts it, eyeball to eyeball. So this time around is going to be a dangerous. We're taking it very, just like when you want to deal with a virus. You have to, the antivirus should have a superior power to that virus. But of course, the antivirus uses the element of the virus also to be created. So now that's the approach. So let's just first get from Citizen AY. Let's see. Citizen AY, are you clear now? Is it okay? Let's hear from you. Oh my, the thing has gone very low here again. The signal has gone very low. Please, you can just go out and come in again, because it's very, very low here. Or maybe you make a refresh. Okay, it's now full. It's now full, but you're still. I don't know if you can hear me, Citizen AY. You can hear me? Yeah, can you hear me, please?
Can you hear me now?
There's still. Somehow, yes, I think we can hear you now. Please go on.
Can you hear?
Oh, we still have a problem.
Yes.
We can't hear you well. It's not clear. It's distorted. Now, Dr. Ngozi, what would you tell the people as we get into February?
All right, thank you so much, Kelechi. I think the messages are clear to most Nigerians, especially the Biafrans, the Oduduwas, the Middle Belt, the South, the Arawas. I think the messages are very, very clear. Most Nigerians have passed a clear message to these politicians that they cannot continue to do the same thing and expect the citizens to validate all these flaws, all these errors, all this criminality, all this destruction of innocent people's home, all this killing of people just because of their belief. And I ask those people, the international bodies sending people to come and monitor Nigerian election, I wanted them to also know that if they have not been able to condemn all these killings going on in Biafra land, if they have not been able to ask questions for all this destruction of people's businesses, people's economy, people's home, if they have not said anything all this while, what right do they have to say they are coming into Biafra land or Oduduwa land or Middle Belt to monitor election in Nigeria? If they have not been saying anything, if they have not condemned these killings, if they don't know that Nigerian state does not follow rules, they do not obey laws and order, why are they coming to validate a country, a state that does not follow the rule of law? The United Nations gave order for Nnamdi Kanu to be released and be compensated. They gave Nigeria 6 months, which I know have expired. If the international body is sending anybody into Nigeria at this time, they should be asking the Nigerian government, why haven't you released this person that we gave you an order to release within 6 months? The world is watching to see why or when the Nigerian government is going to release Nnamdi Kanu based on United Nations Committee recommendation. The United Nations Committee on Extraordinary Rendition has ordered that Nnamdi Kanu be released within 6 months. Within 6 months. That 6 months have expired. So, if United Nations did not act for this abuse of power, then they have a question to answer to Nigerians. Because if United Nations is an organization that we look up to maintain law, to maintain rule, to make sure there is peace in the world, and they told Nigerian government to release Nnamdi Kanu, and they gave them 6 months to do that, and that 6 months have expired. The world is waiting to see the question United Nations is going to ask Nigerian government. If they don't ask them that question, and they want to talk about election without addressing that, then we know that they are not trading fairly. And that will let them know that Nigeria is a country without law and order. So as far as the election, February, most Biafrans have already concluded there will be no election in Biafra land. There's no East wars how we want to do that. Oduduwa has also said the same thing. So Chief Sunday Igboho has said there will be no election in Yoruba land because the people they already elected have watched where their citizens are being killed without saying anything. So those messages are very, very clear. Those that want election, it is okay for them to go and do election in Nigeria. But we, as a people, the indigenous people of Biafra, we have said there will be no election in Biafra land because we are being murdered every day. And the people that we elected to go and represent us previously, none of them is talking. None of them is coming to is coming to help us. And I want to finally address something, Kelechi. Adding the indigenous people of Biafra into the World Terrorism Index is just, I would describe that as a gimmick, which holds no water. The gimmicks holds no water. The indigenous people, how can you add people, indigenous people of Biafra, who are in their own homes? We are in our community, we are in our boundary, we are in our environment, and we have Fulani terrorist invaders that come to attack us and kill us. And T.Y. Danjuma has told us to defend ourselves. Nigerian ex-military chief T.Y. Danjuma has told us to arm ourselves and defend ourselves against these terrorist invaders. How can you add us to a terrorist group? How can you compare indigenous people of Biafra to Boko Haram, to ISWA, that leave their own community and go and invade other people's community and kill them? We Biafrans, we don't go anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We are in southeastern part of Nigeria. We don't move anywhere. Anywhere we go, we buy land. We follow the rules of the community where we are. We follow the rules of the country. We get a job. We buy businesses. We buy our homes. We buy our land. That is what IPOB do. So how can you add IPOB on the list of terrorists just because we are in our own land and we are protecting ourselves from foreign invaders? So I'm telling the whole world to really disregard such nonsensical report of adding indigenous people of Biafra into the terrorist list. And we are going to do everything to make sure we defend ourselves and let the world know that IPOB, we are not terrorists. I am an indigenous people of Biafra. I am from the southeastern part of Nigeria. I have no record, I have nothing about terrorism. But for this, for these people to say that because I am an indigenous people of Biafra member, that I'm a terrorist, they have a problem. And I'll tell the whole world to disregard such rubbish because it is a fallacy, it is a lie. Biafrans, we stay in our own place. We do not go anywhere to terrorize people, to take over people's land, just like ISWAP is doing, just like Boko Haram is doing. So that's a very false report that should be disregarded. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. That was powerful. And Citizen AY, I believe that it's okay because it's stable here now. So continue. How are you going to deal with this challenge? Because of course we're rounding off now. Just let's hear from you so that you can talk to the Oduduwa people. You can talk about the challenge on this platform. Continue to also talk about this narrative to make sure that the people get to understand this information that's going on. So please go on, please.
I mean, there's a number of videos that I've seen where people and agitators, supporters have gone off and put away again on the food that they're given and the clothes that they're given. And the people, their idea are addicted to being given things from the movement to help them to sustain, clothes, those kind of things. And what they want to do is to become dependent on them. And then say, well, actually, if you want more, we need you to vote. In the last few weeks, they want more people to come and say, okay, come and vote. We in the movement have to really work on. There should be some discussions which are about it tomorrow, and hopefully we'll find a way to raise the awareness on our program. This is one of those things that we cannot afford to ignore. These are the moves that they make all the time because they know they cannot win the argument. So what do they do? They use to try and just bypass the rightful position that we take, suppress the people by giving them a false narrative for them to come and support them. And then they will say anyway, but the people have been tricked. So all the time, it's all about deceit, and we have to continue to speak our truth to power, get into our community, into them, and assisting them to actually become self-sufficient. Our communities are more important than ever. They are being killed by the government. They're not doing anything. Forget about the local government. They have no powers. So all of this stuff is done work collectively together within those communities. So there's a lot more work to do. There's a lot more others. But that's where we're starting from. Now, let me just touch on what my sister said in terms of Biafra being labeled the terrorist group. That is all a distraction. The Biafrans are only protecting the people within Biafra. No, Biafra, you will never see a Biafra and be saying we are fighting. You will never see it. You will never see a Biafra man and say they are coming, go or the borders. All Biafra is about people that clearly the government, the state government, the likes of Boku Uzodimlu, to provide safety and security for the citizens that they're supposed to serve. Remember, the chief security officer for his state. But he is not providing that security, instead his people to harm by people who are, they call them unknown gunmen and pretending to be Biafrans, and they are not. They cover their face, then they make statements, and that is the ground that they're trying to use to say Biafrans are the ones carrying out the terror, which is not pretenders, that the government infiltrators that the government have put in to try and address Biafra. Biafra has been and remains about the freedom of the people, the right to benefit our people. That is what Biafra stands for, and I support Biafra on that basis. So that the only thing that we can use to defeat that is to continue to speak our truth to any program that we're doing that benefits the people in our community.
we bring that to the attention of all the states forward that we remain not for violence, but for protecting our people. We have a protection. We have a right to life. That is an inalienable right that every government is failing to protect the people. If anything, IPOP should be applauded, coming up with a suggestion to protect the people. And also on the kind of the youth that we are not the government. We are what we have is a mafia. National bodies, they said they gave the government 6 months. The 6 months they gave has come up like my sister. And what happened? The international bodies are not going to do anything. Please, I want us to remember he's a deputy secretary general. Let me say that again. Amina J. Mohammed is to the World United Nations.
Yes.
If whatever we try and do, the message she will be carrying across will be that of the government and not rely. What I'm saying for us all, and again, this is why our unity as Yorubas are so important. We cannot depend on the international society, international bodies. They are part of the overall plan to ensure there's division and oppression to exploit our resources. At the end of the day, the only game in town that is being played is resources. Right now, the war between Russia and the rest of the NATO is about to take off. They're sending tanks and weapons. Where do you think the resources are going to come from to build those weapons? Where?
From our land, of course.
The last time they had the First World War, the weapons, they risked our man, they took our everything to go and fight that war. That is what's going to happen again. It's standing need. We cannot afford division now. My Biafran brothers, my Middle Belt brothers, my Yoruba on the table, let us work out a plan to defend ourselves. When we defend ourselves, we protect the community. It will not only impact the Yorubas and Biafrans and Middle Belt, it will impact the whole of Africa. To do this, we have the capacity to do this. I am saying it. There are 60 million Yorubas and roughly between 50 to 60 million Middle Belters. This are when we stand together. That is not something that you can put to one side, but we need to means. We don't have to say everything on air, because what we're trying to do is to come together. We have a right. Those who are oppressing us are united in the oppression. We who are being oppressed, we might are reporting this oppression and refuse it and going for freedom. All is said and done. Any of this struggle or disagreement among groups, what we are faced with is existential crisis. If we are not taking the collective action as a group collectively focused on one goal, freedom for our people, freedom in our benefit from our resources. The people who are benefiting from the resources in our land are not from our land. The resources are living by every night, where everything is, people are not getting anything from that. We are very much right now. We are more or less the same thing in Congo. Congo, the resources and the people are suffering. That's part of the world. We are virtually the same thing. We have over 40 mineral resources in Southeast and Middle Belt. We have over 40 mineral resources. And the second largest reserves of bitumen in the entire world is in those states. You could use it to tar there and you will be able to still sell to the rest of the world. That's how much we have. We have gas. Again, gas. Why is it that we are having to pay exorbitant prices for gas? We have oil. Again, these are by design. So, my people, before I go, I would just like to say this. We need to be very clear about our objective. Our objective is this: self-independence for Middle Belt. We have a right to self-determination, and that must be expressed. We are calling for a 1999 constitution, because that constitution is the one that is binding all of us into this mess. And get rid of that. That referendum must happen, because the clear evidence, as I was saying earlier on, is no the local government areas, they have no constitutional powers in which the budget for our local area, you should pass it to us by law. There's nothing to say that. Floyd and silence us. And that tells you that that constitution is faulty. That is the foundation. Is what I'm telling you, it's faulty. We need to explain this to our people, to give and hold these people to account. My sister said the governor should be protecting the citizens should be talking about anything that's happening to the citizens. They're not. Because all of them, they are all tied up to pressure. Because of the crumbs that they're getting, they're putting their people on the line. And this cannot go on in clear terms. There's a lot more work for us to do, also to do. I hope I can talk, but I'll stop here for now. I hope that gives an idea of where
very well. Very clear. In fact, you've spoken elaborately and you've spoken very well. Dr. Ngozi, if you have 1 minute just to say something so that we can round off in line with what Citizen AY have said regarding the alliance and the need for us to come together. He has mentioned it, and if you can say something just for 1 minute, let's round off because of the time. Just say it now, please, quickly.
All right. Thank you so much, Citizen AY. I think he really nailed it. I mean, all the different angles, he brought it all together. And the alliance between the Biafrans and Oduduwas is something that we must sustain. We, the citizens, must sustain that. And if we know that in Nigeria, all over, both from the east, west, north, and south, there are just two classes of people in Nigeria. Those that are perpetuating this criminality in the name of leadership and the rest of Nigerian citizens, then it is time, all of our citizens that are bearing the brunt of this bad leadership and bad policies, it is time for all of us to come together and stop this. Nobody else can do that for us. Even United Nations, they can't do nothing. Britain can't do nothing. All of us as citizens that are bearing the brunt of this bad leadership, we all must come together and say categorically and fight categorically one time to stop this monster that is going to consume all of us if we do not do something. My Yoruba brothers and sisters, the Oduduwa brothers and sisters, the relationship that we have built in the partnership between Chief Sunday Igboho and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we must remember that and make sure we work closely together to defeat this monster that is attacking us. No election in Biafra land, no election in Oduduwa land, no election in Middle Belt, no election in South South, no presidential election in Arewa. It is time for us to sit and talk, because we have been telling these people we need to talk, either in area of referendum peacefully. They refuse. They want to conduct election because that is the only way they will continue to perpetuate their criminality. This is the time to stop them. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Citizen AY, it was wonderful having you. In fact, so I can't thank you enough for your time, for giving this much for the cause of the people of our nations. Very important, discussion here and submissions from you, Dr. Ngozi. Oh my, you also just, fantastically. Yes, so much, Prince Ism. In fact, so powerful. The combination today is so hot and powerful. That's the foundations of Nigeria. If they have any, anyways, they don't have, because Nigeria is just floating in the air. And if you ask me, where is Nigeria? I keep asking people, where is Nigeria? Because where I know we have a land that is called the Oduduwa Nation, we have the land that's called Biafra Nation, we have the place called the Hausa Nation and all of that. Where is Nigeria? It's just a mirage somewhere used to regulate the minds of the people, to keep the people thinking that there is something that is not existing, and to control the minds of the people, take what belongs to them and keep them in abject poverty. In fact, it has gone beyond the level of abject poverty to penury. This is another level of poverty, penury. So I thank you so much for making it. I know that this Alliance in Focus program would always have you here, always, Citizen AY. We know, because we know there are so many things as with wisdom and all of that you have, that's Biafra people, Oduduwa people, and other indigenous tribes that are stuck held by Nigeria contraption, need to hear from you and from your wisdom and from your point of view, in spite of the fact that so many people have their diverse views and all of that. And also, Dr. Ngozi, you have been here all this while. Keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. The people will, in fact, the reward, nobody can reward any of us. I don't have any reward, and the people don't have any reward, but the reward is coming. The reward is coming, and your names will go in history that you were one of those who did this tremendous work for the deliverance, the restoration, and the freedom of the people of God. Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much, and also, of course, to our viewers, we understand you all. We understand that you have your schedules and all of that, but you are here listening and watching. Please share this video further on all your social media platforms, on all the places that you need the people to hear. This message from this platform today, from our guests, must go far and wide, all over the nations of the world. People must hear the voice and hear this narrative, and let the people know, including the international community, that we are no more going to take that deceit. We know their deceit, we know their narrative. They can no more sell it to us. And of course, we know that they are counting on us, as they have always done, to take our resources to fight the wars they fight. They steal our resources and they want to use us for what? For their selfish ends. And we have said together, we are coming in alliance, the Yoruba nation, the Oduduwa nation, the Biafra nation, even the Middle Belt, and others who will be coming in, because we know they are coming and they're going to join strongly with us. This time around, it's not going to be like the 1967, where you were able to put division amongst us, and then divide us, and then we felt that we are not one. We started fighting ourselves, not knowing that you are the problem. We were fighting ourselves and got ourselves to the point where we now went into war, and that genocide was committed. This time around, Oduduwa nation is together with the Biafra people. How would you kill us? What would you do to us? You can't do anything to us. We understand better now, and that is why we have done what we have done today. We have spoken this far. And please share this video on all your social media platforms. Copy, download it, make the audio, send to the videos, to your communities, to your parents, to your friends, to your loved ones in Oduduwa land, in Biafra land, and let them listen to this message, sent to other people, so that they can know that freedom is here and we're determined to go home. Thank you so much. This is AY. Thank you so much, Dr. Ngozi. We appreciate you so much. We look forward to having you next week Friday, because we'll continue on this narrative in the order of rescuing our people from slavery. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. God bless you all. God bless you with everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.